to show you a couple of exercises for the anterior chain for your quads, your legs. Everyone likes to work legs day today. So let's go over some basic traditional exercises. So every gym pretty much has a leg extension machine. So let's do some leg extensions without a machine, and I'm going to show you how the position of your femur and your ankle dictates how we recruit muscles. So the first thing is we're sitting, my chest is up. I'm going to have you extend your leg and then turn your femur in and point your toe back at you. So here I go again. We're going to add isometrics, old school. So once it's here, my femur's turned in, point my foot back. What is that recruiting? I'm getting more of my VMO. So I'll show you a couple more. Up, you want to keep it turned in and flex. So I'll show you this leg. If I'm leaning too much, I'm doing my best. So I should have my hand here. I'm up. My femur's turned. I flex and I hold. It will work. That's part one. Part two, we're going to do some variations of squatting. So the basic squat, traditional to a box. You can have a weight here. I sit, and then I'm up. I'm going to suggest before you squat, you want to think about the hips. You slightly sit back and then sit into it. I'll show you again. I slightly push my bum back. You can have your hands here also. Pretend you're holding the ball, and then I sit into it. More often than not, when I see other individuals squat, they're thinking knees. They squat and they go this way. So this will start to help with the movement pattern. Sit back. Notice my knees, and then I'm here. Variation time. So I want you to experiment with stances. You can sit at the edge or edge of a box, or if you have a chair, you can do this on a chair. Notice my stance is wider. You can pretend you're holding a bar, pull yourself up, and then I'm down. So many times people ask, hey, how should my feet be positioned? What you want is your knee, your feet, and your hip to be tracking. You will be good. Everyone's hip structure is different. So, but if you have them tracking, you should be okay. If you have knee pain, you always stop with back pain. So I show you again. I pull myself up. What's the tempo? 3, 2, 1. You go wider, more inner thigh, stay narrow. So that's that variation here. Now, I'm going to show an overhead squat that most people don't think about. We're going to do one arm overhead squats. So my right arm is up. Notice my hand position is facing in. Your wrist position is neutral now, and that will dictate how I recruit to the rotator cuff, etc. So I want my arm to be extended, reaching through the fingertips. My stance is just traditional, and you can change it according to how your hips are structured. If you need to go wider, for me it's about a little bit wider than my hips. I'm reaching through my fingertips, but I'm not shrugging. I'm up, and then I'm down. I sit. Exhale. Sorry. Yep. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Now if I do my opposite side, I may shift a little or I may not. Why me? Because I actually have a complete bicep tear and a dislocated shoulder, grade 3, many years ago. So I go up. If my knees are buckling a little bit, that means I should have done hip exercises prior, but my knees feel fine. So that's a variation you can try. It's about 10 reps. I guarantee when you do each arm, you may notice a difference in your shifting, but you will get better. Next thing, I have my yoga block. This is one of my favorites. I call it like a waiter press. You want to balance the block in your hand. Your stance could be what allows you to sit upright, stand upright. So I have it here, I stand up. What you don't want to do is drop the block. And I'm probably going to drop it or not. I'll show you a different level. Oh, my 89-year-old does this. He puts me to shame. I don't know how he does it. Up, balance, no shame. Exhale. So while my brain is occupied with the block not falling, everything else has to relax. That's your parasympathetic nervous system. The last thing I'm going to show you, 2 old school exercises, wall squats, but I'm going to add a little flavor to it. And actually I'm going to keep the block. It's an isometric. Everything so far I've showed is dynamic. My head, my back, my low back, my bum is touching the wall. My elbows too. I walk myself out. Your stance could be hip width apart. I don't recommend doing this with a wide stance. I'm parallel. So this is just traditional. What I would suggest, and my feet are underneath my knees by the way, why don't you add some scapular retraction to it. Exhale. not fun. And then the bonus part, if you're like, hey man, that's not challenging, you get a block. I'm huge on also strengthening the adductors and our thighs. Put the block in, elbows back, and then do this happy thing here. And I'm up. There you go.